Well, we'll have to just see how it goes and what we're in the middle of when 10:30 or so rolls around. We'll have to continue to the following night, which is Thursday. That is going to have implications, though, because I think there's a zoning board meeting in the afternoon and a planning board meeting that night. So they may need to, at least the planning board may need to think about what they're doing. Okay. Oh, and although we don't normally do any sort of, the usual sort of pre-opening ceremonies, pomp and circumstance type things at a special town meeting, we are going to just do a brief moment of silence for Catherine Stover, with the idea that we'll have something more official in the spring. So with that said, when we open special town meeting 1, the first thing that we're going to have to do is vote on a temporary clerk for that meeting. So I'll be looking to Jason, I think, or someone from the selectmen to make a motion. Town council's provided me with a very simple motion, which I'll read, and I'll just need someone, probably Jason, to say so moved, and someone else at the table to say second, and then we'll have Nancy then as our temporary clerk for the special town meeting 1 and 2. And that's necessary because she has not been formally elected yet, right?
Right. She's been appointed as the acting town clerk, and that's fine for all non-town meeting matters. But town meeting actually has to elect a temporary clerk to perform the duties of a clerk at town meeting.
Okay. Okay, so that's that. I think those are all the sort of technical things we have to get done before we start, at least on STM1. On STM1, we do have some technical corrections on STM1?
Just one.
Okay. And what article is that on? Okay, so when we get there, Libby, if you could call that out, that would be great. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything I need to know about on any of these articles, just call them out. On STM1, Article 1.
Sarah,
Yes?
may I just ask one question that might apply to all of them to remind us if someone does desire a paper ballot on any one of the articles, what the process is?
Sure. So at some point, and I've got to remember when, someone has to ask for a paper ballot.
I always thought it was a motion maybe after we got to this article at issue, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, let me
It can
just,
be made at any
I think it
time.
can be made at any time.
Yes, anytime.
Anytime during the meeting, John?
Yeah,
Prior to
prior to the vote.
the voting
yeah.
itself, yeah.
Um,
And then the question becomes, if someone moves the question and that terminates debate, it would be better to have the motion for a secret ballot made before you get to that.
Right.
Oh, I think the moderator can still accept that motion.
It does require a second. It's a majority vote and can be debated, amended, and reconsidered. So that could be done at any point.
You could be done at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, could be done at the beginning of the meeting. Of the meeting in which that particular
Yes.
thing is being discussed.
That's
Not,
correct.
so STM1 for STM1 articles and STM2
Exactly.
for STM2 articles. For STM1, I am going to call the articles, even though we only have 16. I just think it will make things go faster if there are some things that people maybe aren't that concerned about that we could vote in accordance with the motion. We could just run through them 1 through 16, but sometimes that invites the I must comment on every article syndrome, and if there are things that people are happy voting according to the recommendation, we should do that. Otherwise, we'll just do all of them. I'm not going to do that with STM2. We're just going to do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The technical amendment is the Finance Committee motion is moved to take no action.
Correct.
And why is that again?
We have a different plan now for the town chair. We're coming before the annual.
Okay,
Sure, wait a minute.
okay.
We have an explanation in the voter's guide about that.
Oh, you do? Is that out, the voter's guide?
It is, it's online, and it was put out yesterday in town manager newsletter. And copies will be available at home, but it is on there.
Okay, great. 11. Oh, and I guess the other thing I wanted to mention is that on some of these articles, we do have a quorum requirement. So on any of the appropriation articles, which I think start here at 11, I can't remember about the other earlier ones. Oh, no, 9. Yeah, so there are earlier ones. They require a 5% quorum. And then there are a couple of articles that have a 3% quorum. So let me just go back and I'll tell you which ones they are. Otherwise, it's just whoever's there. So it starts with 6, 7, 8, 9 require 5%. 11 requires 5%, as does 12. 13, the transfer, prior year transfer, that's 3%. 14 is 5%, and 15 is 5%. So yes? Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm just pausing here at 15 to say, does anyone have, because I kind of rushed through those, does anyone have anything for me on those 12 through 15? No. Okay. So 16, Mr. Mandel, this is your article, and I understand the Finance Committee motion was moved to take no action, and you want to bring forward a positive motion. And your positive motion has things that have changed, and you have that. Okay. Please. I just want to mention my concern about this. I have a couple of concerns. One is, anytime you have a motion that people haven't seen, it causes them to be unhappy. And if it's a page that we can easily project, they're still unhappy. If it's pages of material that they haven't seen, it's going to be very unhappy. And so what I'm going to suggest to you is that you may want to bring, if you have a motion that's significantly different than what's been in the warrant, you may want to bring like 1,000 copies and stand outside and hand them to
I could do that.
To people as they come in.
I've made copies of the latest. I've made a flash drive that you might be able to use on the screen if you like.
Is it just a copy of what you've given me?
It's the latest. I've been sending you emails with no response. So
well, I know, so I wanted,
I brought the latest.
Yeah, good. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I've gotten them.
Just ignore everything I sent you.
Okay. So give me in a nutshell what you've done here is it applies only to commercial use and sale and distribution?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't impact the individual user.
Okay, and you've added definitions.
I added definitions that were suggested by town council to make it a little more clear.
Okay,
I removed the large finding section,
right,
which cuts this thing way down.
right,
And then I removed some of the vagueness in the list of items that were to be regulated.
right, okay,
And I added a brief couple of words in the enforcement section that town council recommended.
We all knew this was coming in.
Residential alert. Go figure, you can't even turn it off.
The president is calling us.
Perfect timing, Mr. So it basically consolidates and shortens this whole bylaw.
okay,
And what I've given you is a copy that shows the strike-throughs and it shows the additions, and I gave you another paper copy that just shows the article with the strike-throughs hidden.
okay,
And I've given you electronic versions of both of them.
okay, perfect. Okay, so basically we're down to straws and drink stirs, 6-pack can and bottle, flexible yolks, nip bottles, non-reusable containers used in the sale or distribution of food. Single,
These are petroleum-based
right,
containers. The plant-based containers are fine.
single-use drinking cups, plates, non-compostable eating utensils, drinking water, and single-use non-recyclable coffee pods.
I have a question, if I may.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing this for the first
Yes,
time,
of
Bruce. So,
course.
drinking water in single-serve PET containers, is that just drinking water? Would it apply to Gatorade?
It's just drinking water.
Just drinking water. Okay.
And the Gatorades are in a different type of container anyway.
It's not a PET container?
It's not number one, correct?
Ah.
In general.
Okay.
And this is similar, that's the exact wording from the bylaw that were passed
In
and
Concord?
approved by the AG in Concord, Great Barrington,
Right,
Sudbury, and Lincoln.
Right.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure you intended
That's right.
that it only applies to drinking water bottles. Okay.
and are you prepared to, it sounds like you are, but you're prepared to talk about exactly what is and isn't covered?
Yes.
Okay, all right, because I think my concern about this is that people are going to be seeing a lot of this for the first time, and it's fairly broad, and there hasn't really been an opportunity for a lot of public forums, buy-ins, discussions. Right, just Facebook. So it's an ambitious proposal, but
I realize that.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I'm looking to profit from or anything.
No, 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 I know.
It's something that we need to do. If the voters don't like it, fine. If they do like it, it's gonna be changed, and sometimes change is a little chaotic, but eventually the dust settles.
right, right. Yeah, I just want you to be prepared for that because,
I also have a static display I'd like to get permission to put in the lobby that shows the items being regulated and what acceptable alternatives there are out there.
okay, that's
appropriate.
fine,
Okay,
but you have to be with it.
well, but then I have to go inside. Do I have to take it down?
Oh, no, after everybody's in and voting, you can leave it there.
Okay.
It's just when people are coming in, someone has to be, it doesn't have to be you, but someone has to be there with it to answer questions.
If I
And
have to print these copies to hand out, I'll be at that table, obviously. Should I print out the one that has the strike-throughs hidden? Because that's much easier to read, and that's what they're gonna be voting on. And it'll have underlined the additions, the changes,
it will have the changes underlined?
like the one I gave you.
Okay.
But all of the strike-throughs, like removing the whole finding section.
Yeah, I
that could
wouldn't,
be hidden.
I'd hide that. I would just show the new language.
Okay, great. I can do that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot shorter, so,
Yeah.
and if you could do it on double-sided paper so that, you know,
I will do that.
yeah. I think that would be great.
Okay.
That would be
So,
great.
Madam,
And,
I just had two questions I
Sure.
want to make
Yeah,
sure
go
I
ahead.
understand. So in the newest version, Bruce, in the prior version that I saw, you had an exemption for small containers and plastic bags, such as bread bags, and plastic food wraps, such as saran wrap.
The reason that was removed
Yep,
was because it was pointed out to me that the Department of Health already has a brochure that makes those things exempt from the biodegradable
Requirements.
Regulation 71. So I felt there was no need to reiterate it here since it's already in effect.
so,
are you talking about the State Department of,
No, the Nantucket Department of Health
okay,
has two brochures they published in 2016, widely distributed, it's on their website, and they specifically exclude those from the requirements. So I felt there was no need to do that. I can send you copies of those brochures.
yeah, was that the, well, I don't want to take up a lot of time, but I know there was a DPW regulation. Is that what that was based on?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
so,
Well, this bylaw is going to stand by itself.
Yes, that was the intent, to tighten things up and make one.
So you're saying that the saran wrap and the bread bags are exempt under the town's regulations already, but they're not exempt under this bylaw?
No, they're not included in that bylaw. They're not listed specifically as being regulated.
but wouldn't they fall under non-reusable containers used in the sale or distribution of food?
The intent was the petroleum-based single-use plastics that this bylaw targets, and those plastic bags don't fall into that category.
I think if you want to expressly, if you want them exempted from this bylaw, the bylaw should say that.
So I should
Yes.
put those back in?
Yes.
I'll do that tonight.
Okay, and then the only other question I
Would it
had,
be, would it be better to refer to exempt things that are exempted under the other town bylaw?
it's a regulation,
Oh,
it's not a bylaw.
okay,
I think it should be in the bylaw itself.
okay,
I'll put that language back in.
Okay.
okay.
good.
Now, if there were two lines that were taken out,
Yeah, and then you had exempted mass-produced products made off island. That's been taken out.
yes, several people said that was very confusing to them, even though that's the exact language that's in that brochure. Several people read it and commented that it was confusing to them. For example, if a product was delivered to the grocery store from off island to be sold, it was mass-produced, but it was still plastic
Right.
that was supposed to be excluded. It's a conflict. So I thought the best thing to do is, rather than have a lengthy explanation in here, I just take that line out because it's already included elsewhere in a town regulation.
Well, I think that may be the same issue that we have with the bread.
So you would like me to put that back in?
Well, I have an issue with that exemption because it pretty much exempts everything that you're trying to ban.
That's why I tried
So
to
if,
take it
if,
out.
so if Dixie Cup mass produces plastic forks off island,
It
They-
would be exempt.
they would be exempt if this language were in the bylaw.
So I'll leave it in there.
Is it your intent to exempt mass produced?
Yeah, the intent is to focus on what's going on here on the island that we can control and to send a message
But
to distributors
I-
and manufacturers that we want them to start using plant-based plastics that don't harm our environment. There's no way we're gonna control the Dixie Cup manufacturers and all these other folks with every product they make, yogurt containers, things like that.
Right, that's what we're concerned. But nobody on island is mass producing, or no one on island is making anything plastic.
No, but they're using it. They're using plastic containers to distribute food that can otherwise be used in different containers, and I've spoken to them, and they're all willing and ready to go, and some of them already have started using it. That's why it's intended to target the commercial use, not the individual use.
But if Stop and Shop is selling a yogurt container, that's a commercial use and it's prohibited by this bylaw. So if you put back in the exemption for mass-produced products made off island, then all of those products sold on the island, even if they're in the list, are exempt. And that's your intent?
Yes.
Then what is being accomplished, I guess, by the bylaw? That's the part I'm confused about.
We're trying to cut down on the plastic
I,
that gets into the stream that we have to pay to ship off island.
well, right.
So Bruce, I think you need to be prepared for the question at town meeting. With these exemptions in the bylaw, give town meeting examples, specific examples of what would be prohibited.
Okay.
That's what you need to think about, because I agree with Sarah. Aren't all plastic products mass-produced off island?
Yes.
So then this would be, you would essentially be eviscerating your own bylaw.
I don't think so, because the bylaw does not target the manufacturer or the importation.
It exempts.
That language was removed. If I put it back in, it would exempt that, and it would target the commercial use by vendors and retailers on
Right.
island.
Correct.
Other than the grocery store, in terms of those types of yogurt cups that are mass-produced and butter cups
Right.
that are mass-produced. I mean, we would have no food on the island until all these manufacturers changed over to the plastic that made with plant-based
Right.
polymers.
I think the issue that I'm having just reading this and hearing you talk about it is if you leave it the way you have it now with all the language taken out, then we have virtually no food. If you put the exemption, I mean, if we put the exemption back in, then I don't know that we're banning anything.
I'm not trying to ban, I'm trying to regulate, but I think you're right. If we put it back in, what we're doing is going to the local vendors who are using plastic containers
Right?
to put takeout food in or to sell a quick salad or something like that in, and we're telling them, switch over to plant-based containers.
Right.
That's the intent.
But isn't that already the subject of the regulation that's in place?
No, it's confusing and it doesn't target it. This is meant to unconfuse and unconflict.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think it's not up to me to tell you what to do, but I'm trying to help you figure out how this is going to go, because I can see this being
I'll give you an example.
difficult.
In the town documents, it says it's okay to continue using plastic straws.
Okay,
Okay, the town has a separate effort now for voluntary non-use of plastic going to alternates. So we have two conflicting documents, and this is meant to try to straighten that out.
Well, you cannot straighten out a regulation by a bylaw. They have equal weight. So you need to, if you want to straighten it out, you would also need to have the regulation amended. Because if your bylaw doesn't address something that's addressed in the
I
regulation,
don't think the regulation addressed it. I think the Department of Health's brochure uses that as an example.
well, the only thing that matters is the regulation from a legal standpoint.
Okay, so.
That's the issue.
okay.
Would you like me to revise this and send it to you, and then you have a day or, a couple hours to take a quick look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering,
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to.
yeah, no, I know you don't, and I'm not going to suggest that. What I'm wondering is it might be simpler to start with a small step. I mean, for example, you could have this bylaw and you could ban straws, drink stirrers, and
Flexible
And-
yolks and nip, well,
you,
yeah.
I mean, start small. Say stirrers, straws, and individual plastic water bottles under a certain amount of ounces.
Yeah.
You could ban those, and then the Stop and Shop would have to take those off the shelf. And so would the restaurants. Or you could, I don't know. Or you could include, something else easy, something small, and maybe not try to be. I think what's happening is you're being so broad that we're running into a problem where things are being included that we really can't include because we're just not, as a society, ready to get there yet. We'd be way ahead of ourselves, so we'd have to be, basically making all our own food.
Straws, stirrers, the water bottles, maybe the plastic plates and utensils, and take everything else out.
If you did that, then you wouldn't have to have the exemption in, because I think by putting in the exemption, you're undercutting your entire regulation.
So we'll take out the food containers and the lids for the food containers, and we can leave in perhaps the plastic cups and lids and the stirrers, things of that nature. I'll write that up and I'll send you both copies.
Okay.
Right. The 34 ounces, the 1 liter of 34 ounces, that may be a bit
I added
aggressive
that
to
as a
start with.
suggestion of Town council. That was the language that was suggested.
Did you want 34 ounces or some other?
I don't recall that, Bruce. I'm not doubting you, I just don't recall.
The other fellow.
Greg?
Yes.
Greg Corbo?
He's
Okay.
the one that suggested that. We could take it down to 32 ounces, but when you go to the store, the bottles vary in size from 32 to 33 and a half to 34 ounces.
Right,
And that's the target.
right. Well, I'm just thinking you're probably going to get some pushback at the 34 ounce level, because aren't there all kinds of things? Or I guess if it's just drinking water.
This is just drinking water.
Just
It's not
drinking. Okay, if you're
Gatorade
just
or
drinking water, then-
Powerade or-
Okay, so we're not talking about like sodas and,
Right, not sparkling waters flavored, We're just talking about drinking water.
I'm sorry, Bruce, I don't mean to be laughing at you, but sparkling water, isn't that drinking water?
Okay, we can eliminate that.
I'm just, this is the kind of thing that drives me personally and
It's
professionally
difficult.
crazy.
It's very difficult to
It-
do something like this.
it is.
It is.
And that's what I'm saying. It could be a little chaotic at first, and this is why the enforcement section goes to the discretionary effort of the town administration. And it's not meant to be us having
What-
plastic police out there.
What I would recommend you do is go the tried and true method of banning things where the Attorney General has already approved bylaws, like the Concord drinking water.
That's exactly where the wording came from,
Okay,
drinking water.
and Provincetown has banned plastic straws and stirrers.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So just try to keep it to
I'll
much
take
simpler.
out the
Yeah,
more controversial items.
okay.
Right, okay.
I kind of figured that was gonna happen at the floor with people getting up and objecting to things and getting it struck, but,
I think it's best to start modestly. I do.
okay, I'll do
Right.
that.
Okay, thank you.
And then, I don't want to discourage you. If you want to do something broader that is limited to on-island sellers and restaurant people, do something different than this.
Yes, we'll do a voluntary type thing. So I'm gonna.
Or
change
work with the DPW Board of Health to revise their regulations to capture the things that you want to do, which could be done at any point.
Thank you, I'm gonna do that. I've already started to meet with the Department of Health people about that. So what I'm gonna do is reduce the number of items that are on the target list.
Yes,
I'm gonna add back in the 2 comments about the mass-produced off-island.
no,
No, you're gonna leave that out.
no.
Leave that out.
Leave that out.
Okay, so
Leave
leave
that
it as shown, as the exemptions shown. Which
Yes.
is- which
Yes.
is emergency and medical,
Yes, and plant-based,
and what, and plant-based.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah, I'm going to give this back to you so that you can
How
have
can I
your,
get you that flash drive?
you can,
What's it drive?
yeah, Mary, where would you like this flash drive? Can it be emailed? How big is it?
Oh, of course I can read. These are small files.
Oh, yeah. So just email it to me and Mary, and that will be great.
SFA.
At sfapc.com, and Mary will give you
Send it to
hers.
too.
Sure, thank you.
And to Libby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that will be STM1. STM2. Article 1.
So there's technical amendments for each of these.
Right. So the Finance Committee motion on Article 1 is now moved to adopt?
Yes,
Okay.
although the motion itself is not involved.
It is?
Well, I mean, the wording.
Okay. Is this the same as what you sent me yesterday? You know, I don't think I have that. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
There's a later version of that. Sarah, of that.
There is?
I'm pretty sure that Erica reformatted the technical amendments,
Oh,
but may I see what you're looking at?
certainly. That would be lovely. Because, yeah, I haven't seen anything new.
It may just, that may be that it was just reformatted. Yeah, it was just reformatted, this the Finance Committee comment. Oh, no, maybe not, maybe this is it. Yeah, no, this is fine.
Is it?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
There'll be a further amendment to Article 2, because the planning board, the Finance Committee took a vote earlier today.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so yikes. Article 1. So the Finance Committee's motion is now move that Chapter 67, coastal properties owned by town, comma, management of Section 1, management of coastal properties owned by the town, subsection E, be amended as follows. E, coastal land, leasing or licensing. Leasing or licensing any town-owned coastal property, town-owned coastal land to a non-governmental body for erosion control protection purposes shall be subject to approval by vote at an annual or special town meeting. So it's essentially it's exactly what's printed in the warrant.
Correct.
Okay. All right, now, I had heard that there was an issue about the definition of coastal, town-owned coastal land, but we're just leaving it the way it is, correct?
As far as I know.
Okay, got it. Article 2 is also a motion to adopt, and that's basically as printed in the warrant.
I have a question or two.
Yes,
Earlier I asked about the scope of what can be deliberated as far as the zoning at town meeting, if that's what that's gonna turn into. Could it be 500,000 square foot zoning, or has to be what's written?
this only proposes going from LUG2 to R40. So you could potentially talk about something in between LUG2 and R40, for example, LUG1. But you couldn't go to, say, ROH or Residential 5 or anything that would be less than the R40. And then there's a significant planning board comment that's attached to this, which addresses the fact that the planning board, in order for this to come before the meeting, had to give it a positive recommendation because it had been discussed within the last 2 years at a town meeting and defeated under 40A, is it 5? The planning board has to give a positive, report out a positive recommendation for something to be brought back within 2 years on a zoning issue. So they debated it. They weren't necessarily in favor of the article, which is what this says. They weighed that in their deliberations, but they ultimately decided that this should come before the voters and be decided by them. So that is what has happened with Article 2. And then Article 3.
So the planning board, I'm sorry, the finance committee voted to defer to the planning board's motion.
Okay. All right. Great. And Libby, you'll get these all redone and recirculated, right? Okay. And then Article 3. Now, Article 3 is a motion not to adopt by the Finance Committee and a fairly extensive comment, which we'll put up on the screen. And I understand you want to come forward with a positive motion, right? And your motion is going to be essentially what's printed in the warrant, or will there be changes to it?
I guess I'd leave that to the special town meeting on the floor if there are amendments that arrive.
Okay, so it's just basically going to be move to enact the following new section of 46.5.
Yeah.
Okay, or yeah. All right. Mary, are you good with that? Okay. So we can do that. If there are changes that you decide that you want to make, or if anyone decides they want to make in the text of what's printed in the warrant, then I need to see it ahead and decide if it's in the scope and make all kinds of decisions. But hopefully that won't be necessary.
Sarah, I guess I would introduce the article and speak on its behalf, and then can I have my attorney speak on the article as well?
I'm going to have to get leave of the meeting, but yes. I mean, how long do you need?
I don't need a lot of time.
Okay, so if I gave the two of you a total of like 5 or 6 minutes, would that handle it? Okay. All right. Does anyone else foresee any he's not a voter, right?
He's not.
Okay. Does anyone foresee any other non-voters needing to speak? Okay. We don't have any experts or anything coming for any. Okay, good. All right. Nancy, do you have everything you need?
I have one sort of general operational question. I think I do. I'll really find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in the 10 years or so I've been at the clerk's office, we've never had any overflow of like 700 plus or whatever that fit in the Mary Walker. Is anybody anticipating that? Is there anything the wardens need to be prepared for that?
They ought to have the setup ready to go if need be in the auditorium. The gym, sorry. That's where we've done it before.
That's where we've done it before.
They have, it's gonna have to be connected via TV monitor, I believe is what has happened before. So we'll have to talk to the school and town IT about that, just to make sure it's ready to go.
And then,
I'll send an email.
Yeah.
and then the speakers will have to come to the main auditorium to speak. And you will need to have not counters, but somebody's going to be in there to.
Like a runner.
Yeah,
You would appoint an
we should get
an
the
assistant
extra people.
moderator.
yeah. No, I know. And I'm going to have to appoint an assistant moderator to run that room.
Let's just all cram in the Mary Walker.
Right. Now, in the past, and we might want to do this too, we did put people up on the stage one time.
Did we sort of move the non-voters a little and leave that area too?
Well, we can use the non-voter area. I mean, I almost think we should put the non-voters, except for your attorney, we should probably, who has to come in and sit, by the way, he has to check in with the constables separately, and he has to be taken down and be under Nancy's watchful eye. She'll have a seat designated for him. We should probably move the non-voters right from the start into the auditorium. I mean, into the cafeteria. And then if it ends up we don't need it, then they can be brought in by a constable and put over there. But I think to be safe, let's use that whole wing for voters. And if you want to put, I mean, last time it just worked out because I think we had chairs set up for the band and they sat up on the stage. I mean, that's fine with me.
How about behind the press too? It's another, how many you can get.
Right. So if that could be set up, that would be fine. I don't love having people behind me. It's a little uncomfortable, but I can do it. It's been done before.
So should they set some chairs up, or should they just be prepared to put them out?
I think be prepared to look them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a fire occupancy issue. Well, there's-
Right. I think there is an occupancy limit. So maybe, can someone check with the chief? I know we can't have people sitting in the aisles and blocking exits and. Okay. And otherwise, we'll have them in the auditorium, I mean, in the cafeteria, but
Jim,
or gym.
that's where it was last time.
It was the gym. Yeah, it was the gym. It would be better if we didn't have to have voters in the gym, but if we do, we do.
Does Nancy know to have the ballots?
I think so. Nancy, you know, to have the ballots and the shoes and the,
Also never used shoes before.
okay. I know, what do we have, like wooden shoes, right?
Yeah. Oh,
They're kind of clogs. Yeah, you're right. And lots of those. And then, do you have night 1 and night 2 wristbands?
yes.
Okay. And are you going to have someone down there with you other than Bobby Planzer?
Gail's gonna sit with
Okay, good. And will we have the copier set up behind the curtain as we have in the past?
I think if that is on, I used as a template, Catherine's directed, I can double check with my gal.
Okay. Mary?
We usually just have a printer back there.
Oh, just a printer? Okay.
We haven't had a copier for some time.
I'm so
Haven't used any, either one of them for years.
I'm so out of date. I just like knowing it's back there. Now that you've told me it's not there, I feel slightly panicked. Okay. Anything else, Nancy? I mean, I feel like you're getting kind of dumped into this, so. All right, well, it will be fine. There's nothing that we can't just deal with on the fly, so not to worry. Okay, well, if no one else has anything else, I think we can adjourn. Be sure to be in contact by email if you need to be, if things come up, as they always do last minute. The weather is going to be okay, we hope, right? We're not going to have a huge hurricane or anything. Okay, thank you very. Are you guys going back into session or are you done? Okay. I heard that. Okay. And he's the vice chair?
He may come back. He was undecided.
Yeah, not really. Except, you know,
What's that?
he's snappy down there at the table. I just wanted to, because I know you're gonna be sitting there with David. You just, you know, when I
I'm
recognize
just
you,
saying
say
it for
so.
the first time. It's like, sure.
And
I hope
then
it didn't
get
take up
somebody
too
sitting
much
next to you
time.
to always face that way. Yeah, get somebody so they're ready, so we're not seeking around.
No, but I think the suggestion to pare down that
Yeah,
list
try to move as quickly
is
as
a
we can.
may.
Yeah. Well, I think so, only because the turnout's been so big for the,
I've only reviewed
Yeah.
5 versions.
I mean, really for STM too, I don't really. think
You ready to go?
STM one.
Whenever you are, sir,
Thank you.
at your leisure. I'm not sure.
That was really helpful, to read that 5% form. I know, right? Get there early, get your